You think you're hiding it, but you're too easy to trigger. Everyone knows exactly how to push your buttons, and that's why nobody respects you. You think reacting proves you're strong? Wrong. Every time you get mad, every time you show you're hurt, you're literally showing how weak you are to everyone around you. They're studying you, and once they know what breaks you, you're done. Sung Jinwoo, the Shadow Monarch, didn't survive the double dungeon by panicking or begging for fairness. He survived because he became cold. Before he was a legend, he was the world's weakest hunter. He had to die inside to win outside. This isn't about acting cool. This is a real-world system for deleting your emotions to build an unshakable presence. I'm breaking this down into 5 secrets to becoming cold. But if you can't pause, take notes, and actually apply this, that's your answer for why you'll stay at E rank forever. Secret 1. Install the gamer's mind. Most of you are walking around with your emotions exposed. You're reactive. Someone cuts you off in traffic or makes a passive-aggressive comment, and your heart rate spikes. You immediately want to defend yourself. You want to explain. In Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about identity. Right now, your identity is a victim. You're letting your external events control your internal state. When you react instantly, you're telling the world that you have no filter and no control. You're a puppet and everyone else holds the strings. Look at Jin-Woo in the Double Dungeon. When the Statue of God smiled, seasoned hunters were scared for their life. They screamed, they ran, and they died. Jin-Woo was terrified too, but he activated the gamer's mind. He forced his emotion to zero. While others saw a monster, he saw a puzzle. He analyzed the pattern. He realized the system had rules, but he detached from the fear. He was the only one who could see the solution. He treated a life or death situation like a quest window that just needed the right input. So here's your action step. You need to practice emotional latency. This is your new system. When you feel that spike of heat in your chest, wait 3 seconds. Count them. 1, 2, 3. In those 3 seconds, the emotion dies and logic takes over. You detach. You look at the person screaming at you and you don't see it as a threat. You see a glitch in the system. Treat every insult as a notification you can simply swipe away. If you cannot master this 3-second gap, you'll never be the main character of your own life. You'll always be an NPC in someone else's story, reacting to their moves until the day you die. Secret 2. The Lizard Rule. You're bleeding respect because you keep trying to fix people who disrespect you. You write paragraphs of text explaining your feelings to people who don't care. You're surrounded by what Robert Greene calls infectious characters in the laws of human nature. These are energy vampires. They poke you to see if you bleed. You suffer thinking that if you just explain yourself one more time, they'll understand. They won't. And every time you try to reason with a snake, you lose a piece of your soul. Remember the lizard hunters? The ones who betrayed Jin-Woo and left him to die in the spider dungeon? When Jin-Woo returned, he didn't ask them for an apology. He didn't ask why they were evil. He didn't try to change them. He realized they were a threat to his survival, and he eliminated them. No hesitation. No negotiation. He understood that some people are simply obstacles to his leveling up. So here's your action step. The Shadow Monarch does not negotiate with betrayal. If someone shows you they are a snake, you apply the lizard rule. You cut them off. No closure conversation. No final judgment. No final argument to prove you're right. You just delete them. Block the number. Remove the access. You're not being petty. You're teaching people that your presence has value and disrespect costs them access to you. The moment you try to explain your exit, you hand them the power back. If you don't cut the lizards, they will eventually swarm you. You'll be dragged down to their level, E-rank trash forever, eaten alive by the very people you tried to save. Secret 3. Weaponized silence. When you're in a high-pressure situation, a negotiation, or an argument, your instinct is to fill the silence because it feels awkward. You start babbling. You reveal your hand. You apologize when you didn't do anything wrong. This is the fastest way to show you have zero confidence. As Dale Carnegie suggests, you can't win an argument, but you can lose your dignity by talking too much. Every extra word you speak dilutes the power of the one before it. You're literally talking yourself out of a position of strength. Compare E-rank Jin-Woo to the Shadow Monarch. The weak version apologizes constantly. The Monarch? He barely speaks. When the high-ranking hunters try to intimidate him, he doesn't shout back. He just stares. His silence is heavy. He creates a vacuum that others feel compelled to fill. It forces them to wonder what he is thinking. It makes them terrified of what he might do. He understands that in the hierarchy of power, the one who speaks least holds the most cards. So here's your action step. Use silence as a weapon. When someone asks you a disrespectful question, don't answer. Just look at them. Hold the silence for 4 seconds. Watch them squirm. Watch them try to fill the gap. They'll start explaining themselves. And then suddenly, the power dynamic flips. Mystery plus results equals maximum aura. Practice the 70-30 rule. Let them speak 70% of the time while you gather intel. Your silence is not empty, it's a loaded gun. If you tell everyone everything you're thinking, you become common. You become cheap, and cheap things are easily replaced. Secret 4. The Monarch's Stare. Most of you look down when you're challenged. You break eye contact to release the tension. That is biological submission signal. That tells the other person you're the alpha in here. You're literally signaling to the world that you are prey. You avoid conflict by making yourself small. But you cannot be cold if you cannot hold a gaze. The eyes are the only part of the brain that is visible outside the skull. If yours are darting around, your mind is weak. When Jin-Woo looks at someone, they feel the pressure. They feel the weight of his level. Even before he summons Igress, his eyes do the work. He doesn't glare with anger. He looks with absolute deadpan neutrality. He observes them like a predator observes a rabbit. He isn't threatened, so he doesn't blink. He uses bloodlust not just as a magical skill, but as a psychological reality. His gaze transmits his intent without a single word. So here's your action step. You need to desensitize yourself to social pressure. Here's the drill for this week. When you're walking down the street, hold eye contact with a few strangers until they look away first. Don't smile, don't frown, just a neutral observation. Focus on one eye if it helps. Your eyes should say, I am not threatened by you. This builds a high level of presence. If you can hold a stranger's gaze, a boss or a bully becomes nothing. If you can't look a man in the eyes, you've already lost the fight. You'll live your life looking at the floor while others walk over you. Secret 5. Result over reaction. You're emotional because you're bored. You have too much time to worry about what people think of you. You're distracted by drama because you have no mission. Robert Greene says that grandiosity comes from a lack of reality. You're too focused on the noise, not the signal. You care about clout and opinions because you haven't built anything real to stand on. Why is Jin-Woo so cold? Because he has a goal. He needs to level up. He needs to save his mother. He needs to survive the system. He doesn't have time for emotions that don't serve the goal. When the White Tiger Guild tries to test him, Jin-Woo doesn't get an ego. He assesses the situation and moves on. The ultimate form of disrespect isn't anger, it's indifference. He treats the opinion of others like background noise in a dungeon, irrelevant to the objective. So here's your action step. Become so busy building your own empire that you don't have the bandwidth to process other people's opinions. Adopt the scoreboard mentality. When you're winning, you don't need to roar. You don't need to prove anything. The scoreboard speaks for you. Replace your need for validation with a need for results. If you focus on the reaction instead of the result, you'll stay at the bottom arguing with idiots while the real players level up and leave you behind. So what are you gonna do? If you're serious about this, subscribe for more self-improvement content that gives you the truth, not what you want to hear. Now let me know in the comments, what is the first thing you're going to sacrifice? Your need to explain, your toxic friends, or your fear? Arise.